so glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining me here in this video. So this is my art studio for 9 months for an artist residency that I was awarded at a local art center. I get free studio space for 9 months and a solo show in May. So keep a heads up or an eye out for my solo show that's coming up in May, and please follow my journey. I have a playlist of my journey right here. I'll put in the e-card in the top right corner, and I already have a playlist of my journey so far. So how I like to use writing in relation to my art is I love do stream of thought writing in my art journal, and it can be totally illegible writing, and then I paint over it because I love how text and imagery work together. But I'll tell you more about why I also like it. So here's the book, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I read this book, and I do morning pages that she suggests. That's 3 pages of stream of thought writing every day, and I find that very helpful too. So here I am enjoying the sun. There's no curtains on these windows in this 150-year-old building. The windows are huge and no window covering, so if I don't want the sun in my face, I do have to wear a hat. But it's glorious, glorious sun and lighting in this studio. So this was a 9-month artist residency, and during this time there was 3 of us artist residents, and we had 9 months to create a body of work, and I created 20 paintings, and in the following May we each had a solo show at the art center, and my 20 paintings were the theme of divine female archetypes. which was inspired by Shiloh Sophia, who I had taken a month-long workshop with the previous August, and that got me inspired for creating this body of work of divine female archetypes. Some of the divine female archetypes included in my show were the creatrix, the queen, the mother, the maiden, the priestess, the warrioress, and could have been some more, the wise woman. And then, in addition to that, I kind of did a spin-off of stages of life. So there was stages of life like turning point, the end of life, and those are the main ones that I can think of right now. And if you watch till the end of this video, you will see me speaking on the microphone at the actual art opening, where I talk more about my work. And in this one, I'm working one of the stage of life paintings, and this one is entitled Joy, and it's a work in progress. It's about halfway finished at this point, and it's called Joy. One of the things that I really got out of this artist residency was just so wonderful to have an art studio to go to, a designated art studio, because in my home I have an art space but not an art studio. It's a multi-purpose art space that I have to share with other uses. It is my own space, but it's a space I can create art in, but it also functions with other multi-purposes. And it was just so wonderful to have a designated art studio space, which is not the first time I've had my own art studio. I did used to have an art studio in a building with 100 other artists several years ago, and I did have that art studio for 7 years, and that was wonderful. So it was just so great to have another designated art space because I could work on bigger paintings. Most of the paintings in my show were 30 by 40 inches. And then I had some 16 by 20 inch paintings as well. But I'd have to say most of the paintings in the show were 30 by 40 inches, acrylic mixed media on canvas. It was also so wonderful to meet other people in the community, people with the interest and love for the arts. This particular art center also has theater, so it's just wonderful that there was a theater there with actors and actresses coming in and out, which unfortunately I never had the pleasure of meeting any of them. But they also have music events at the theater. And this building is 150 years old. It was the original school house built for the whole school district. So that's why in the previous clips you had seen inkwells in the desks, so which is so fascinating. So I really enjoyed meeting other artists and people taking classes up there on the second floor where my art studio was. I got to meet other people taking art classes and mingle with them when I could. On one of the days of the week that I was there, that particular class was there in the afternoons and mornings. Any time that I can find another artist residency to do in the area where I live, I would love to do that. I cannot do it again at this art center, but I hope to in the future at another art center or somewhere else where they offer artist residencies. I had some life-changing revelations this past week in my art studio that really helped me. So where do I start? Okay, it all started with this very challenging painting that you see me working on right here from last week. It caused me so much doubt. And the self-doubt was about not being good enough as an artist and also imposter syndrome. And I know many artists struggle with this too. Perpetually wondering if they're good enough. Here's what happened next. Ripping, dripping, writing, drawing, painting, cutting, collaging. I'm here to tell you, that's the cure. And here's the important key. Create intuitively with minimal thought. Just do it without second guessing. There are so many benefits to this type of creative process. It's very freeing. This is art for mental health right in action. What I discovered by the art journaling, intuitive creating bypasses the harsh, judging, critical left brain. This was a revelation to me this week. I mean, I think I've heard this many times in the past, but actually it really hit home this week. It really hit home. And here I am just really enjoying the ripping, dripping, painting, cutting, collaging, gluing, painting, cathartic stream of thought writing. This is art for mental health in action. And if you have an artist in you, that inner artist needs to be nurtured. It's a part of you. It's literally a part of you. I'm a lifelong artist, and when I think about, oh, what would I do if I just don't do art anymore? I literally cannot think of anything. It would be like destroying a part of myself. But I didn't necessarily literally copy. The composition elements stay the same, but colors and other things can change. But here, when I started this with Turning Point, I had fell in love so much with how it looked in the digital painting that I just wanted to mimic and totally replicate it on the canvas. And that was something I not really had done before. And so that was like, I actually was crying when I first started this painting that it was like, I felt like I'm not going to be able to do that painting justice on canvas. But so then I kind of learned from it and was very happy with it. And then this painting is made, this too is archetype, like the maiden divine archetype, but more in the painterly style. And then it went into like stages of life and important, like significant human emotions like joy. And then the wise woman is also a divine archetype, but I did garden of wisdom, and creatrix is an archetype, and that's Queen, that's another archetype. And, okay, so then they're kind of like stages of life, but not necessarily like a mother. I do have two mothers that are in here too. And then kind of like the last two that I did for the show are like those two that, one was on top of each other, like those two paintings that are hung vertical. Those two kind of, and not really thinking about it, like I didn't really plan it, but afterwards I realized like they kind of represent end of life. So the angel, which is soulful Serenity, and the vortex, kind of, I realized